Welcome to this episode of Little Did You Know Travel. Last week we checked out the amazing city of Tallinn, Estonia. This week we're heading to the Tallinn Airport and flying LOT Polish Airlines down to Warsaw, Poland. All of that's coming up this week on Little Did You Know Travel. Welcome to the small and quaint little airport serving the capital of Estonia, the Tallinn International Airport. Right after I got through priority security, I was dumped into this required walkthrough of the duty-free. You'll find this in a lot of European airports. Right after security, you must walk through the duty-free shop before you can even get to your gate. Kind of annoying, but I do tend to check out the vodka selection. I'm a big fan of vodka, as you might have remembered from my last episode. When we talked about the Hilton in Tallinn, they offered this Estonian vodka in the lounge, and I really liked it. So I went to a grocery store downtown, and picked up a bottle. But now when I'm watching this footage back and I'm editing it, I'm like, wait a minute. There was two different versions of this vodka that I did not buy in this duty-free shop. I'm kind of regretting it and wondering if when I'm filming, I don't pay attention what's happening around me. Either way, I didn't buy those two different versions of the vodka, which I'm kind of regretting at this point. Regardless, mandatory walk through the duty-free shop. Now, today's itinerary was part of my big booking that I made with United Airlines miles. Flying mostly, all Star Alliance partners. Today we're flying the Polish flag airline, LOT Polish Airlines. We're in economy class today. I got priority check-in at the desk and also priority security because of my status. I'm a Star Alliance Gold member. I have that status with United, but that gives me extra perks like that quick security, but also allows me to get into the lounge here. We'll head there in a second, but just to look at some of the variety of locations that you can fly to from Tallinn, Estonia. Heading up to the lounge, easy to find with the signs, and then the steps were even marked, welcome to the business lounge, and also in Estonian, lounge too. And yeah, I have no idea what that says, but this lounge you may have access to with the ticket you bought, maybe your airline, or if you have Priority Pass, Diners Club, all these things listed, or you could buy access for €29, which might be worth it if you do drink a lot and want some snacks. Hello. The check-in process was a little longer than expected. You see my phone there on the counter. She wanted to see my actual United membership card so she could put the number into the system. And even though it's printed on the bottom of the boarding pass, which I blurred out, but she needed to see it on the phone. I don't know why, but whatever. Took a few extra minutes. Once in the lounge, we can take a look at the food. Not a bad spread. Some salads and cold items, some plastic wrapped cheese. Now that is the epitome of luxury when they wrap the cheese in plastic. Soft drinks, nuts, crackers, some biscuits, and there was some pastries as well. I did have one of these sandwiches. I had the tomato and mozzarella, which was quite good. There was fruit, yogurt, and if you want water, there was this chilled water dispenser that would give it to you either flat or sparkling, and it was labeled, so you hit the buttons there. Of course, coffee. There was some pumpers of different flavors for your coffee. And then the bar over here, which is self-service, so take as you please. Some local beer there on tap and some wine. And then in the fridge, to my delight, there it is. The Estonian vodka that I really did like, so I know I'm going to have some of that, some chilled juices as well. So might as well enjoy one more shot of this vodka before I head to the gate. But yeah, not a bad lounge. As you can see, €29 if you did want to have some drinks and just relax in more of a calm atmosphere, as you'll see in a bit. The outside of the airport, not horrible. The gates are a bit small and can get a bit crowded. Of course, the vodka will help with that. It's always nice to relax inside an airport lounge before a flight. This lounge does provide a variety of different seating options inside the lounge. There is also a seating area outside on the terrace. You can enjoy the fresh air, intake some jet fuel, enjoy the obstructed views there. Unfortunately, yeah, the views aren't great from this terrace, but you could sit outside, have a drink, and just have the time pass before it's time to board. If you are a fan of looking at the apron outside that window of the lounge, you do have a pretty good view of this side of the airport. Unfortunately, the runway is on the other side, and you can't see planes take off or land.
Even though all the indicators here are the flight's on time,
not going to be true. A lot of times, your flight number for these quick turn airports like this, the inbound flight is always going to be, if it's coming from the home airport, like Warsaw's LOT's home airport, it's normally going to be one flight number down. So I'm on a 786, so 785 is what's coming from Warsaw. And I can look that up on different things, and I can see that this thing isn't going to arrive until 2:30. And that's 2:32. I'm supposed to depart at 2:30. So boarding is supposed to start at 1:50. The original scheduled arrival time was 1:50. So yeah, very interesting. So it left, looks like 31 minutes late out of Warsaw. So we'll see if they make up time, but yeah, might be a little delay. I decided to grab another one of these mozzarella and tomato croissants, and let me tell you, that fresh mozzarella on these things were really good, so I might have had a few of those. I went to that table and just stared out the window, and then to my surprise, here comes my plane. It was a lot earlier than I expected. I checked my app and I was like, wow, it made up a lot of time in the air. And then all of a sudden, the board in the lounge said, go to gate, boarding soon. So I quickly stuffed that sandwich down my throat and headed down to the gate because they were pretty quick with turning around this aircraft. Gotta love a baby crying at a gate. So we're at our gate here, a little late boarding. The aircraft arrived. Going to be loaded by steps, so it seems somewhat organized. There's a good bit of gate lice around, but we'll see. Once everyone got off that plane, the boarding process was quite quick. It was a bit disorganized, but it really didn't matter because we're heading down steps and then going to walk up more steps right into the aircraft. Thank you. Have a good one. Alright, so it's kind of weird to come down some steps, get kind of held up in a holding pattern, and then we'll go out the door, go out on the tarmac, and board the plane. Here we go, to Warsaw. Hallo.
Was niemand braucht, aber...
Also Souvenirs auf Deutsch gesagt.
Ja, Eva, was machen Sie für Geschäfte in Tallinn? Was machen Sie für Geschäfte?
Ich habe die Geschäfte nach Wien gezeigt.
Ah, ja, ja. Ach, Sie leben in Tallinn.
All right, now on board this Embraer 170-200 series aircraft from LOT Polish in row 4. The legroom is pretty decent, and yeah, I mean, if you look up at business class, there's not much. I mean, row 1 has a ton of room just with a bulkhead, but that poor lady's ankles are going to get nailed by bags as people come stumbling on. Take a look at these seats. You know, nothing special. Pretty decent width to these seats. Standardized tray table. Doesn't slide, but there we go. There is electrical outlets under your seat, which is kind of cool. There seems to be one of them, yeah, that is shared between both seats. 2-in-2 configuration, and there's business class, which is just 2-in-2 as well. But the seats next to them are blocked, I believe. But yeah, legroom's pretty decent. Got a nice window. Actually, a nice and wide window. Kind of interesting, the seat pocket that they are talking about donating to the Polish Red Cross, some different organizations that are helping the Ukraine crisis and the refugee crisis in Poland right now. One thing I've noticed about boarding in Europe, it's orderly, it's cordial, it's efficient, and yeah, a little bit different than the United States, where people are walking down the aisles with like 30 bags hanging off of them, beating people down the aisle. I mean, It's just more civil here.
Warsaw Airlines, our partner airlines, I welcome you aboard our Boeing 175 on the flight to Warsaw. Our flight time today is 1 hour and 20 minutes.
So the aircraft was turned around in record time on the ground in Tallinn. Kudos to the ground staff who really made us make up some time on the ground. The captain made an announcement also saying we were expected to make up time in the sky, meaning this once potentially 45-minute delayed flight was only going to be about 10 minutes late. That is quite impressive. And also to my fellow passengers who boarded this aircraft pretty quickly and orderly, it was a fairly full flight. Unfortunately, the seat next to me was occupied, but at least the person was nice and respectful and just minded their business and acted like a human. That's all you can ask for a fellow passenger. But I need to ask you to do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed yet to Little Did You Know Travel, please do. 80% of the people who watch my video are not subscribed, and that is a ridiculous number. It makes YouTube upset. It makes YouTube not push my video out to more people. So if you could do me a personal favor, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like this video, leave comments, and really share Little Did You Know Travel with your friends or people you know who like to travel. I greatly appreciate it. And unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye to Estonia and its capital city, Tallinn. Probably one of the most underrated cities in Europe, or actually one of the most unknown cities in Europe. If you didn't see last week's video when we looked at the Hilton, but more importantly looked around the medieval walled city of Tallinn, I think you can see that this city is somewhere you should put on your bucket list if you do make your way to Europe. For an hour and 20-minute flight, there was still a beverage and snack service on this flight. The crew handed out water, coffee, and little sandwiches. There's my neighbor eating his sandwich. I didn't get a good shot of it for some reason. There was complimentary in-flight entertainment on this flight as well. You just look out the window and look at the scenery. There was no in-flight entertainment on this, no Wi-Fi. It's a very short, basic flight on LOT Polish Airlines, kind of short-haul fleet. But still, a very comfortable experience to get me from point A to point B, and the hour and 20 minutes did fly right by. As the city skyline of Warsaw appears in the distance, we are getting ready to touch down at the Chopin Warsaw International Airport in the capital city of Poland. Unfortunately, we don't get a gate. We do have to park out on a stand and take a bus to the airport, so that's never fun. But that's what happens when you're on a smaller aircraft at a very busy airport. The one good thing about deplaning without a jet bridge is you do get some pretty awesome views of the aircraft you just got off of, and it feels like you're in the middle of the action right there on the tarmac.
I made it to Warsaw at the baggage claim. One of my bags showed up, the other one is coming down the belt now really quick. The Star Alliance priority bag definitely worked.
Now this was filmed in May of 2022 at the end of the month. You'll notice that the process to get my bags was extremely quick and very organized and not a lot of people. Well, in the summer of 22, as we're going in right now, it's a lot crazier in European airports, so who knows what it looks like right now. You'll notice there's a green sign here that says nothing to declare. There's also a red line saying there is something to declare. This happens in a lot of European airports. If you have something to declare, you just go to that different colored line. You kind of wiggle out and then you're outside of the secured area. There's always like this gaggle of people. Pretty empty airport when I disembarked, so probably not looking this way right now. There's a couple different ways to get downtown from the Chopin Airport. One is via a newer train that takes you to the main train station of Warsaw. My hotel isn't really located near there, so I'm going to take a taxi. There is Uber in Warsaw as well, but the taxis are very cheap. So as long as you go to an official taxi, you're not going to get ripped off. Just go to the taxi line and there's someone here to help you get into your cab.
Well, here I am in a taxi heading to the Hilton, Warsaw City. So it's about a 20-minute ride. It depends on traffic, but traffic's pretty light. Unfortunately, the weather has turned pretty crap.
So in upcoming episodes, join me as we explore the city of Warsaw, and the weather does get better. That's the good news. We'll take a look at 2 different hotels, plus some of the highlights of the fantastic capital city of Poland, Warsaw. All of that's coming up next week on Little Did You Know Travel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time in Warsaw.